Legends, welcome back to another episode of the Ruck Infringement Podcast, the podcast for you and your mates, full of great banter, mediocre betting advice, and just an all-around good time. Joining me, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see it looks very small today. Just me and Harry, me and the international cricket sensation. How are you, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm pretty good. I'm just glad Panthers actually edged it out in a potentially game of the year as well.
Very good game.
Obviously, your boys getting the big win against the bye.
100-0.
Yeah, 100-0. But yeah, no, great week of footy, some great scores, and yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Mate,
how are you?
Oh, mate, I'm great. Thanks for asking. 2 weeks in a row, I'm feeling on top of the world. It is incredible. Of course, Dongle and Statsman aren't with us tonight. Other commitments there, but they will be back next week. All right, we're going to jump straight into episode 116, and this week we've called it Phination, based on how well the Phins are going, baby. Phins up. There are no stats this week, but we'll go through a quick little review of the games. So obviously we did the Ruck Report last night, myself and our social media guy Mick. We jumped on, did the Ruck Report, went through a couple of games, but we thought we'd just touch on them a bit now. So jump all the way back to Thursday night. We had the Panthers and the Bulldogs. Panthers getting it done 8-6. Now, you mentioned just before that, you know, really good game of the round. For me, it was finals atmosphere. The way this game was played, it was like I was watching a semi-final. Yeah. Dogs were 6-2 for a long time of that game, and then a charge down from Cleary, ran half the field and scored to win the game. But mate, take us through first off, how were you feeling in this one? Because you would have been on the edge of your seat and a bit nervous. But take us through your feelings and what'd you take from this game?
I'll tell you what, for the majority of the game, I was shitting bricks. I was worried that we were going to lose. Especially knowing how the Dogs can play.
Yeah.
They know how to put on points easily and they can defend very well. But then again, you look at us, we always take the brunt of the attack, tire them out, and then in the back end, we charge in and we take over. And I think that Nathan Cleary charge down is like one of the, yes, it made us win a game, but it was one of the pivotal moments in that game.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say, I don't know how Toto got put on report for that high shot.
Yeah.
But then a day later, he, no fine, no nothing.
Yeah.
They just said, you're clear to go.
Typical Penrith, isn't it? No fine.
Yeah. Typical Penrith, a guy who's fucking 3 foot tall putting a shot on. But yeah, I think once the final siren sounded, I was over the moon. Sean had to tell me to shut up because I was losing my mind. But yeah, honestly, it was probably one of the best games I've ever watched. Fantastic
game, mate. The Dogs yet to win. The 3 games that they've lost have all been Thursdays.
Yep.
Can't play Thursday night footy this year. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with them on a Thursday night. It's very strange. Lost to the Dolphins, Broncos, and now Penrith. But mate, I think the big talking point from this game, a lot of people are saying, are Penrith back? They've now won 4 in a row. Of course, they've got a bye heading into Origin 3. So they won't miss any players for next week. But, mate, what do you think? Are they back, or are you just taking it one game at a time?
At this stage, I'm still taking it one game at a time because...
Come on, make a bold call.
I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, we're back. We're going to win this whole thing, and then literally next week we lose.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Taking it a game at a time. The belief is still there, obviously, but... Yeah, game at a time, and who knows, by, say, round 20, 21, I'll be like, yep, we're back. We're ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't tip him, and part of the reason I'm wearing the liability hat tonight, if you are watching on the YouTube, you can see the liability hat there, but I did get the lowest tips of the week. Well, I don't know if I got the lowest, but we're the only two here.
Yeah.
So out of us two, I got the lowest.
Yeah. What'd you get?
I got 5.
Yeah.
5 from 8, which I thought was a pretty good week, but you got...
Yeah, I got
7.
I got 7.
So
unfortunately,
very
the Waz let me down.
We'll get to that in a sec, but we'll jump into our next game. It was the Seagulls against the Tigers. Manly finally getting it done, 28-10 now. Mate, the Tigers 5 in a row now, heading into the Roosters this week. Mate, surely they need a win soon.
Yeah, they do. I think if they want to, get out of the way of getting consecutive 4 spoons, they need to start winning games.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're missing Luai this week due to Origin, and Buller's out for, I think, 3 more weeks. It'll be good reshuffle. I think like a very, very good reshuffle. But I think if they lose like the next 2 or 3 games, I think they can. Sheep Station's going to be going off.
It's gonna be interesting, isn't it? I think we're starting to see what we saw from them over the past couple of seasons. Of course, news out of camp yesterday that Taron De Silva has joined Parramatta effective immediately, 4.5-year deal. So they've just lost their 2 probably best up-and-comers in Galvin and De Silva from the club. And for me, it brings back Moses Tedesco vibes. Yeah. So they had Moses Tedesco and Brooks all at the same time. They lost Moses and Tedesco to other clubs. Those other clubs went better. Well, one of them went better. I wouldn't say Moses did that well at Para. Para's not setting the world alight, but they went to a grand final. Yeah. But so 2 other teams.
I mean, would you call that game a grand final?
Yeah, no, not really.
That's training.
But mate, for Manly, DC looked a lot better. I thought he was really, really good in this game. Takeaho as well. I think he played 40 minutes, and I saw he ran for 145 metres. So something wild like that. And on the other side of that, Terrell May, 50 tackles in the front row. Big stats there. But we'll jump into our next Friday night game. It was the Knights against the Raiders. Now, the Knights, they keep losing games by 4 points. Yeah. And, they're there or thereabouts. But the Raiders, on the other hand, they were up 16-0 last week, and they won 16-12. This week they were up 16-0 and they won 22-18. So does it say more about the Knights or the Raiders, mate?
I think it says more about the Knights, if anything. Like don't get me wrong, fuck the Knights, but they've in the last few weeks they've started, finding that form that they needed, knocking off the Dolphins as well. Yeah. And then obviously coming up short the last 2 weeks, but I think they're starting to, find what they were meant to be doing this whole season, and I don't think they're saving Adam O'Brien. No, they're not saving him. I think he. Well, I mean, they'll save him for this year.
Well, he's got that $2 million hanging over. So if they get rid of him, they have to pay him $2 million. Yeah, till the end of his contract. So, do you fork out that, or do you just ride the wave there? I don't know. It's interesting.
It just depends on what the club wants to do moving forward.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they'll probably ride it out this year. And then,
no point really now. We've 10 games to go.
Yeah, and then, but in the off season, figure something out because they obviously need to change it in the uppers.
But for the Raiders, mate, they're now top of the table, looking at a minor premiership at the moment on the same points as the Dogs, of course. But it's just not convincing for me. I mean, I don't know how you're up 16-0 2 weeks in a row and almost give it away. If you're a top 4 team, you probably shouldn't be doing that. So I wasn't impressed with the way that they almost let it slip. I was very impressed with their attacking prowess in the first half, though. Yeah. They scored very quickly. And look, they're looking good. The Raiders are flying. The Green Machine is back, and we love to see it. But, mate, we'll jump into our first Saturday game, Super Saturday. Broncos against the Wars. Now, you and me, we took the Wars in this game. Broncos at Suncorp. A lot of people backed them. And I'll tell you what, the Madge experiment that started where all the players were saying, his coaching is too rough, too tough, he's too strict. It looks like they're starting to buy into the system now. Yeah. Because the Broncos looked incredible in this game.
Yeah, it was obviously very hard to watch because, I do love the Wars, but you got to give props where it's due. Broncos were playing out of their skin in that game. As much as I hate to say it, Ezra Mam, he was playing really.
He's been good since he's been back.
He's been good. He's been really good. Yeah. It pains me to say it, but I think Broncos are back in a sense. They're finding their form that they had at the start of the season. Yeah. And, it'll be very interesting to see how they round it out.
Yeah, well, for the Wars, Metcalf succumbed to that injury, and it does not look good for him. I think he's going to miss a couple of weeks.
They're looking at ACL, so
that'll be rest of the season. I really think this will derail the Warriors. I don't think that who they got, Tamari Martin or Tanner Boyd to come in. Both of them probably aren't at the standard that Metcalf's been at for the past 17 games. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope the Warriors can come off the back of this, show a bit of adversity and fight through it. But in my opinion, I don't think they will. They didn't look great in this game. I was actually quite disappointed in their performance. But we'll jump into our next Saturday game. The Dragons against the Eels, the Lomax, Gufferson and Jack DeBellin Cup. Mate, what a game it was. Dragons getting it done 34-20. But the talking point from this game was all the Parramatta fans blowing up because Addo-Carr touched the sideline. I watched the replay and his foot is on the line, in my opinion.
Look, I think it would have been like a fair call either way, whether it was in or out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's literally millimeters in it. You literally have to zoom in to see whether or not it was out. But,
that's right.
I think their second half performance from the Dragons, I don't know what happened. They shat the bed. I was watching the game with Sean, and he goes, "Oh, they'll fucking run us down now." They just kept scoring quick tries, and we're like, "Oh, yep, here we go."
20-6 at half time, I believe. Something like that. I know. Yeah,
it was 26-4.
26-4. There you go. Wow. Yeah. So to only score one try in the second half, and a penalty goal. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was saying, Shawnee, he was. I've seen a different side of him that night.
I tell you what,
he was not happy.
The Eels, mate, it's really hard to see where they go from here. I mean, they're on the bottom of the table. This was a game that they probably needed to win. They need to get off the bottom if they're going to make a statement. Doesn't look like they are anytime soon.
So I think Luke's going to be right with his prediction.
At the moment, we'll talk about that the next game soon with your prediction. But look, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough one for them.
Geez, I'm starving. I could really go for a snack.
Mate, we're halfway through recording. We can't stop now for a snack. And besides, what are we going to eat that will keep our bellies full?
Dude, I know I'm sorry, but I've just discovered Gibson Country Style Jerky, the greatest jerky going around. They have a variety of flavours including pepper steak, barbecue bourbon and teriyaki, and they deliver countrywide.
Wow, bro, that sounds amazing. I have to get my hands on some of this. Where can I find it?
You can visit their website at gibsoncountrystylejerky.com or check out their social media pages for more. And because you're a fan of Ruck Infringement Podcast, you can use the code podcast for 10% off.
Done. Already ordered. I'm so hungry now.
Gibson Country Style Jerky, the perfect snack for any occasion.
Well, mate, I've got to ask, how are you keeping yourself looking so fresh these days?
Mate, it's because of these awesome safety glasses from Stay Fancy Eyewear. Not only do they protect me from the harsh rays of the sun, but they also make me look damn good too.
Wow, mate, where can I get myself a pair of those?
Visit their website at stayfancy.com.au or visit their social media pages. And if you follow the Ruck Infringement Podcast, you can use the code RUCK10% for 10% off today.
I'm heading there right now. You'll see a new me next week.
Stay Fancy Eyewear, keeping you safe and looking good while doing it.
We'll jump into our next Saturday game. What a game this was. The Dolphins against the Rabbitohs, mate. Dolphins, another 50-point win, but they left it a week too late. We were hoping it would be next week, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
50-28 over the Bunnies now. In probably what was the worst call of the century, me, our fearless leader, our host, the prophet, tipped the South Sydney Rabbitohs last week in what is now known as blood on grass, because it was an absolute massacre.
Yeah.
Absolute massacre, mate. And I do not know, first off, why did I tip South Sydney? Because I hate them, so I don't know why I tipped them. Shout out to our South fans. Harry loves you. But I don't know why I tipped them. And second
Don't
of all...
put words in my mouth. How dare you?
And second of all, the Dolphins have been absolutely flying. So again, I don't know why I tipped them. But mate, can you make some sense of this game?
I'm going to say one word, because I can't be bothered saying his full name. Hammer.
So good.
Was so good in this game. Scoring 4 tries.
That was a ghost, by the way.
Yeah, that was a ghost.
That was God.
Yeah, the Hammer scoring 4 tries in this game. He was basically playing touch footy.
Crazy.
Like, he was just everywhere.
Channeling his inner Bostock, mate.
Yeah.
Except he didn't get a chance to score 5. But
Well, I mean, I seen him when he scored his 4th. He was like...
Yeah.
and then he didn't count. I was like, did he forget how to count before? Or?
I only scored 1.
Yeah, I scored 1. Oh, no, I've scored 2.
He was great. Look, and, I like the Hammer. It is his 100th game as well.
Yeah.
So, fantastic for him. But, mate, Trell Mitt, as much as I don't like Trell Mitt, he tried his heart out in that game. You can see he was trying to get South onto the front foot. Mate, the big talking point, Cody Walker, now succumbed to another injury. Another one, and it's the same talk we've had about Tommy Turbo, except they're a difference in age. Now, Cody Walker on the wrong side of 35 and keeps getting injured. Do you think they need to just have that conversation with him about maybe hanging up the boots, giving, Dodd and Humphreys the keys now? And
yeah, as much as don't get me wrong, Cody Walker is a great player.
He's been a great player as well.
He's a great player, but I think he's now getting to the point where the thought of retirement should probably start creeping
I
into
think
his
so.
mind.
I think so.
As sad as it would, don't get me wrong, I don't like Souths, but
It's just based off the injuries.
yeah,
though.
there's no point damaging your body further
Yeah.
when you can just retire. You've had a successful career, well, somewhat successful career, and just relax, spend time with your family,
it.
just
Yeah,
spend time
exactly.
with your kids and whatnot. And I
I have to agree. I think it's time probably for Walker to hang up the boots. But mate, credit to the Dolphins, absolutely flying at the moment. I've got them as smokies now for the premiership. Be great to see them there.
that would be beautiful.
Would be awesome. And he's been banged on a lot by all the commentators and media personalities. But Isaiah Katoa, mate, this kid is going to be an absolute star. And you can already see it. I'm not going to talk any more about him because
Pretty sure he got invited. He wasn't named, but he was invited to the Blues camp.
he was
this
originally
week.
for cover for Cleary.
Yep.
Which is really exciting. So I think he's named on the extended bench. I think he's 19.
No, I think 19 was Lindsay Smith and 20 was Brandon Best.
Sorry, yes, and 18 Karaz. But let's jump into our next game. It was Sunday Arvo footy, Storm versus Sharks. Now, of course, the Dongle is not here, but
Probably good for
Storm,
him.
Yeah, very good for him. But mate, it's just a case of what we've been talking about every single week with the Sharks, and I pose that question to you that I pose every year: Sharks, contenders or pretenders? And it always leans towards the latter, pretenders.
Yeah, I think they needed to win this game.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I tipped Melbourne to win.
Yeah.
But they needed to go out and prove a point.
100%.
Only scoring one try. I don't know what's going on there, man.
Is it Nico? Like everyone talks about, Nico's the focal point and he needs to control the game and he doesn't look like he's controlling the game. But then people are talking about moving him to fullback, but I think Kennedy's been really good. I personally wouldn't move him to fullback now. Probably at the start of the season, I would have said yes, but
but if Kennedy moves on from the Sharks, I think the right thing would be to put Hines in fullback.
I just think he's past it now. I think 5 years ago when he was at Melbourne, I think now he needs to dominate this team. He needs to take control of this team. And I think if he moves to fullback, he's not going to do that. Although what I will say is I really like the way Trindle controls the team.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind giving Trindle a bit more authority to lead. But, mate, Melbourne just clinical. I mean, Amy Park, Sunday afternoon. If you're a Melbourne fan, what more can you ask for?
Mate, I don't think...
GI back, that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think any team would want to travel to fucking Amy Park.
No, not on a dry track like that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Melbourne getting it done, and they finally looked clinical, probably for the first time this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my doubts about them. They're sitting in that fourth position, and they've been there. Like, they're winning games, but they're winning them very scratchy. But this game, they looked like they were back, and they came out to make a point. Shout out to Falogo, the young winger. He looks like he could be gone. Big stint on the sideline as well.
Yeah, he's looking to return until finals.
Yeah,
I think he's out until finals.
Yeah, big loss there. But Will Warbrick, in good news, Will Warbrick has been back at training.
Yeah.
So from that massive concussion he had, which was crazy. So it'd be good to see him back on the park. And to finish off the round, the Titans against the Cowboys now.
The shit bowl.
Yes. Both sides of the poo. But mate, Cowboys did this very, very hard for themselves.
Yeah.
30-24. Now, that scoreline doesn't really paint the story of this game because Cows were flying, and then all of a sudden you look and they win by 6 points.
Yeah. I will say, the commentators, they were talking about it, the game will end up 30-24. Mind you, throughout the day, I was speaking with Sean, and he said the game will end 30-24.
Wow.
And so we're watching the game, full-time hits, and he goes, fuck, I should have put a bet on that. Should have done a correct score. But, like you were saying, Cowboys just made it hard for themselves. Like, they were all over the Titans.
Yeah, 100%.
And then they just, I don't know what happened, but who knows? Desi Hazler, could he be gone?
Could he, mate? I'll ask you this question. 2 weeks ago, they beat Manly, right?
Yep.
If they don't beat Manly, do you think Des is gone by now?
Yeah.
Like, that's one win in what? 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think he's...
It's really tough, isn't it? Because the caliber that Desi brings to a club is incredible, and it's high. He's won comps. He's done it all in the game. He's played for New South Wales, Australia, Manly legend. He's done it all. But just I don't blame Desi for this. I blame the Gold Coast in general. You're a bit younger than me, but back in the day, they used to have the Gold Coast Giants and the Gold Coast Seagulls. You've heard the names. Now, unfortunately for the Gold Coast, nothing's ever changed.
Yeah.
So even with the Giants, even with the Seagulls, Gold Coast just couldn't fire. They can't find what it is to go to that next level. And it's what I've always struggled with this team. You know, their inception in 2007, they had Matt Rogers, Scott Prince, Luke Bailey, Greg Bird, Anthony LaFranchi. These are just some names. Matty Rogers said that. Yeah, Preston Campbell was the other one. Like, star-studded, and you still can't win a comp, you know. So for me, it's got to be a culture thing. I think it's that, you know, Gold Coast, you're on the beach, it's nice and relaxed.
Yeah.
And that's how they play their footy.
What I want to know is, so Titans' top try scorer this year is Khan Pereira, right?
Yeah.
Tell me why Desi Hasler dropped in the Queensland Cup.
Who knows?
I think if Khan
Honestly,
Pereira
who knows?
played in that game, I reckon he would have put on a clinic.
He scores a double most weeks.
Yeah, so I reckon he would have put on a clinic in that game.
He's fantastic. But look, that was it for round 17. Of course, Roosters had the bye. Mate, let's jump into, he's been doing it all game, so our suspension segment. Now, from my knowledge, I don't remember there being too many. I know there was a sin bin or two, a couple of fines. We spoke about Brian To'o before. There was one there, but if you got the list there, Harry, do you want to read it out for us?
So, Brian Kelly, he got a $1,000 fine for a dangerous throw. Brenton Nicola, he got $1,800 to $2,500 fine.
Yep.
Again, I don't know if they've accidentally put it twice. Our first suspension, Heath Mason, for his contact with the ref.
Oh, yes. Oh. This contact with the ref thing is driving me mental. But
yeah, I
anyway,
don't get,
whatever.
what do you expect him to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't
be a dick.
He's facing one to two matches. A big blow for Para. Kelma Tuolagi. He's getting 3 to 4 matches.
He was good too. He had a really good game.
Yep. Jack Williams, $1,000 fine. Phoenix Crossland, $1,800 fine. And William Kickow, $1,800 fine.
So lots of fines there.
Only 2 suspensions.
Which is good. Good to see. And then on the other side of that, we jump into niggling our injury segment now. Obviously, the big one we spoke about, Falogo there. Toby Couchman, a big one. And the money man before the game, the Dragons game. Mate, if you got the rest of the list, you want to read that out for us?
Okay, so I'm going to have to go all the way back to the top. So, yeah, obviously, Falogo, he's out until finals. Tui Pilotu, Couchman, Luciano Leilua, quad.
Lots of Dragons, man.
Yeah, and Hamish Stewart failed a HIA.
Jeez, Dragons.
So in that one game, they lost 4 players.
I know who I'm not tipping next week.
Yeah, they only had one reserve left for the majority of the game.
Yeah.
Who else? We already spoke about Metcalf. Nickel Clockstad as well. He came off injured. They're still waiting to confirm Clockstad's one, but I think he should be out maybe for a couple of weeks. Nicarima with his hamstring.
Yep.
That was sad to see. Like, he tried to get up and he just instantly went.
Yep.
Obviously Cody Walker. Kalen Ponga, he's out for an undisclosed amount of time for a foot injury.
Yeah, that was bad too, and not what they need, Newcastle, where they've already got no Fletcher Sharp.
Yeah.
Now they got no Ponga as well.
Yeah. Api Coruscant, he is I think he's gone for category 1. So he's gone for the next game.
Still not picked for Origin, but yep.
Yep. Nathan Brown with bicep issue, and that's pretty much it. The ones that from the last few weeks are still on there, but
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so that's it for our. He's been doing it all game and niggling our injury and suspension segment. Now, mate, before we move on, I am going to do something absolutely wild here. We're going to go through the stat deck, but I've got my own stats that I've brought this week.
Oh, God.
I'm not singing, don't worry. If you did like the intro last week, please let us know because it was wonderful. But, mate, a couple of stats. Now, this was the first round. 3 Suns have scored in the one round. So, obviously, coached. So, Nathan Cleary scored in that game. Shane Flanagan, Kyle Flanagan scored in the Dragons game.
Yep.
And then Ricky Stewart and Jed Stewart scored.
Jesus.
Yeah, so 3 sons, all coached by their dads, scored this round. Some player stats. Dylan Edwards, 260 odd meters, looked really back in form, which was great.
Yep.
Terrell May, 50 tackles. He was really good too. Alicia Katoa for Melbourne Storm. He was fantastic. He had about 150 run meters, and I think it was about 35 tackles as well. But the big one, Tallis Duncan, South Sydney.
Yep.
In a losing team, scored 2 tries, about 150 meters. He was really, really good.
He scored me really well in Supercoach.
Yeah, me too. And he's a player that I could see down the track. He's got to be an Origin representative for sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You look at him and you go,
100%.
you can see that all over him. But yeah, look, they are the stats brought to you by the Stat Deck. Obviously, no Statsman this week.
I can't remember if this is true or not, but I'm pretty sure I think I seen it was either this week or last week, there was 3 sets of brothers playing in one game.
Yes, that was this week.
The Finu brothers.
That would have been last week.
Or was that against the Raiders?
No, it would have been last week, Tigers and Manly.
Yeah, so the
Trbojevic.
Trbojevics and the Finu brothers.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
How crazy is that?
How wild. Who was the other set? Because there was 3 sets, you said.
No, sorry, two sets of 3.
Yeah,
two sets of 3 brothers.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, hasn't been done in a while. I mean, the Burgess brothers would have probably given them a run. They probably played the Trbojevics at some stage, but
I don't know about Ben. I don't think they played Ben.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
they would have played Jake and Turbo, but
yeah, exactly. Jumping into our live ladder quickly before we go into our next segment. Now, of course, Raiders are sitting on top with the Dogs losing. Dogs at second, Storm third, and Warriors round out the top 4. Broncos at 5, Roosters 6. Panthers 7th, and Dolphins round out the top 8. If we head down, we got Manly, we've got the Sharks, who have really dropped out, haven't they? They would be the biggest drop if Luke was here. Dragons at 11, Cowboys at 12, Knights 13, West Tigers 14, Eels 15. Now, this is where it gets good. Rabbitohs at 16th. Rabbitohs at second last. Can we just make sure we got that on record? Rabbitohs are 16th, second last, and the Titans last. Are they on the same points as the Bunnies? Yeah, they are. How good.
no, they're not.
What are they on?
Bunnies are on 14.
That's played. Oh, no, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the played. Yeah, beautiful. So Rabbitohs second last. That's what I took out of that. Just fantastic. That's all I took out of that ladder. Perfect. All right. Now, the Harry Ams has gone behind closed doors for the first round, which is very, very exciting. So there'll be no Harry Ams obviously here, but Harry has got them all up here and they're ready to go. They are in his head. He knows who got what. And at the end of the season, we will reveal who is the winner of the illustrious Harry Ams. But, mate, we're going to jump into some wild fantasies now. Supercoach, NRL Fantasy, of course. Outcome running. Mate, I had a monster score this week. 1501. Now, Christ. I had Tallis Duncan, of course, as you spoke about before, 132. Jerome Hughes got me 113. Alicia Katoa, who I brought in this week, 110. Ooh. So a couple of big centuries there. I captained Herbie Farmworth. He got me 78, so I think his captain was about 150 odd.
Yeah.
So another really good score there. A lot of my players this week scored really well.
Here, who do you call when you want printing and design work done?
At Print.
Yeah, bizarre name, innit?
Yeah, at Print.
I mean, they could have called themselves Superfast Print.
Or We Even Design Print.
Or Friendly Personal Service Print, because they do all that.
When you think about it, At Print says everything, really.
Yeah, so when you need design and printing done fast with friendly and personal service, call that Print on 47315055.
And when people ask where you got it done, you can say At Print.
Shut up.
Right here, legends, before we get back to sledging refs and over-analysing bunker calls, a quick word from our mates at LMTLS Finance, the only brokerage where your loan gets approved faster than at a car in open space.
Tradies, footy heads, weekend warriors. If you're dreaming of that new ute, upgrading the family wagon, or finally getting that jet ski that's been sitting in your someday folder, stop dreaming.
LMTLS Finance makes it happen. No bull, no paperwork piles, just fast approvals from our over 50 lenders that don't leave you on the bench waiting.
They speak your language too. No fancy finance jargon, just straight talk and solid results. And if your credit history's got more bumps than a state of origin decider, no worries, they'll still back you.
Think of them as the Cam Smith of finance, calm under pressure, sharp as a tack, and always making the right play.
So if you want cash flow quicker than a 7-tackle set, hit up LMTLS Finance, tell them the Ruck Infringement Boys sent you, and they might even shout you a sausage roll. No promises, but worth a crack.
Check them out now on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, LMTLS Finance. Get approved, not penalised. So Supercoach, mate. So you went through. You got Taylor Duncan, Cleary. Who else you have in there?
Ethan Strange got me 81.
Yeah, very nice.
Terrell May, our captain, he got 76. So
Yep.
what's that? 152.
Quick
And
maths.
Mitch Kenny, 70. Yeah, it's
Love it.
fairly decent scores.
Very good week. We're not sure how the Stats man went, but he is competing with his mate, so I'm assuming he would have made trades again,
Yeah,
which
he
is
would have
great.
made trades.
Trades on my mind this week. Interesting one, of course, with the buys. There are a lot of players out. I think I'm going to hold. I think my team's not too bad. I do have the coverage, so I might hold this week. I don't care if I get a bad score this week because I want to save my trades for the run home. A couple of players I want to bring in, so I'm going to hold for this week. But don't forget, if you are in our Ruck Infringement podcast comp on fantasy and NRL Supercoach, you are playing for SC Rings, the best Supercoach championship rings going around. Check them out at their website, SC Rings, or on their Instagram and Facebook page as well. All right, mate, we're going to jump into some dynamos and dungs now. Of course, if you are tuning in for the first time, it's our best player or worst player of the week or team as well, mate. You want to start us off? Who was your dynamo and dung?
My dynamo this week, it's got to be the Phins. I think the way that they played against the Bunnies, absolutely slaughtering them pretty much.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't a losing side, I will shout out Latrell Mitchell. He was probably the heart and soul of that team in that game. But yeah, the Dynamo Dolphins, my dung. I don't know. There's a few to pick from, eh? We'll go.
Some teams that lost.
Some teams that lost. Do I go Sharks 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going Sharks. They, like we were talking about earlier, they needed to prove a point this game, and they just shat the bed. I don't know if it had anything to do with Trindle not vomiting after coming out in the second half this time, but
he should make it a routine.
Yeah,
I think.
just make it a routine. But yeah, Sharks are the dub.
Love it. Dynamo for me. I spoke about him before. Taylor Duncan, thought he was incredible in a losing side. Very, very good. 2 tries for him. My dung. I don't want to double down on the Rabbitohs, so I won't do that. But it's really hard to go past the Sharks, isn't it? I mean, a tough week. But I'm actually going to go with the Bulldogs. And the reason I'm going the Bulldogs is because as much as that was a finals game, that's a game that the Dogs would expect themselves to win this season. The way they've been playing this year, they came out off the bye, and you can't be content against Penrith.
Yeah.
You can't just come out and go, oh, because they've had a bad year, we're going to beat them. Like, that's not how it works, you know. So, Dogs are my dung this week. No one in particular. I thought the team was okay, but I just think the way that they came out and played is not what we've seen of them this season. But, mate, we're going to jump into now our favourite segment, the Profits Preview. Round 18. Can you believe it, boys? We have 9 rounds to go before we finish up, before we head into the finals. But let's start with Friday night footy, of course. It's going to be 8 o'clock. $1.48 for the Dogs and $2.66 for the Broncos. Mate, who you got?
Well, we all know what happened last time. Brisbane and Dogs played each other.
It was a Thursday night, though, not a Friday.
Yeah, still. But I'm pretty sure the Doggies had players out for Origin this game.
They will. They'll have Max King out.
Yes.
And Carraz, because he's 18th man.
And Critter.
But Broncos will be missing Haas, Carrigan.
Walsh.
What? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he's 18th.
He's
yep.
18th.
And Shibasaki.
Yeah, Shibasaki
well.
making his debut.
Yep.
I think the Dogs will bounce back in this game. It's hard to pick. Like,
Very hard. Very tough.
It's a flip of the coin.
Where's
really.
that coin?
But yeah, I'm gonna go to Dogs in a tight game.
Yeah, very nice.
I don't think it's gonna be a massive blowout like it was last time.
Yeah.
In terms of how many, I reckon Dogs get it done by 4. And if we're looking at try scorers, Montoya, Burton, and Reynolds.
Very good. I'm going Dogs as well. I think they get it done in this game. I just think the Broncos have too many outs that won't help them, whereas the Dogs don't have that many. I think they can get it done. I really like your shout. I'm going Preston for a try.
Yep.
And I'll back Reynolds in to score as well. Dogs 1-12 there for me. Let's jump into our first Saturday game. It's the Raiders against the Dragons now. Raiders are $1.28. Dragons $3.73. And because of all the injuries, you can understand why. Harry, who you going?
Raiders in a pumping. I reckon Raiders put 20 on them.
Shout out to Shawnee.
Yeah, 20 plus. I think he'll probably agree with me as well. As much as he doesn't want to go against his own team.
Yeah.
I reckon Raiders absolutely flog them.
Yeah.
In terms of try scorers, Savage for a double, Jamal Fogarty to get over. And if I have to pick a Dragons player...
Where do you start? Oh, no, he'll be out.
Jacob Little.
Yeah, nice. He
Jacob
hasn't scored
Little
for a
get
couple
him.
of weeks, so he's
Yeah.
due. Mate, I like it. I hate to agree with you, but I'm going Raiders as well. I think they get it done quite convincingly in this one.
Don't lie, you love to agree.
Yeah, I
with me.
do. I love agreeing with you. I'm going to go Raiders in this game. I was going to say Big Papa, but he's playing Origin now.
Yeah, I thought he was retired from representative.
And Billy's called him back out of retirement. It's very Alfie Langer-like, isn't it? But, mate, I'll go his other number. I'll go Joseph Tarpany to score a try and Tom Starling as well. Let's jump into our next game. It's the Cowboys against the Storm at our favourite stadium, Queensland Country Bank Arena in Townsville. Cowboys at $3.70, Storm at $1.28. Mate, any chance for the Cowboys?
Nope. No.
Shout out to Mitch.
Yeah, shout out to Mitch and Boxy.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I got Melbourne again, 20 plus.
No Origin stars. No Munster, no Grant,
Yeah, but I think they have
no Liero.
Yeah, but I think they have the depth to.
Stefano's back though. Oh no, he's out too.
He's out too. I still think Melbourne have the depth to cover it.
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah, like I said, Melbourne 20 plus. In terms of try scorers, Jerome Hughes to get over and Pappy for a double.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I think the Cowboys actually have bigger losses. Dearden's out for them for Origin. And
Dearden, Robson.
He's massive, you know. So,
Yeah.
Of course, Cotter as well.
Nanai.
So, yeah, I'll go Storm in this one. Look, it is a danger game. I think Scotty Drinkwater was really good on the weekend. If he can channel that again, they'll go a long way for the Cowboys winning. I'll go Storm 1-12 only because we know what they've done this season.
Yeah, true.
And this is the game where you expect them to score 40 points and they won't. They'll win by 10.
Yeah.
So I'll go Storm by 10 in this. If I'm going try scorers, I'm going to go Pappy for a double in this game. I'll go Anderson for one. And I'll chuck in a Cowboy just for the fun of it, Robert Derby to score as well. Let's jump into our next game. Sunday Arvo footy, 2 o'clock. Roosters versus West Tigers, Allianz Stadium. Chooks at $1.21. Tigers at $4.45. The Luke Joey Cup this week. Mate, whose side are you on?
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to go the Roosters.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
going to go the Roosters. I think... But then again, this could also be a danger game for you guys too.
Absolutely. Origin stars out.
All your
5
Origin,
players.
yeah, all your Origin boys out. But
We usually play better.
Yeah, I still think you get it done.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a thrashing. I think it's going to be a tight one. I reckon you guys get up by 8.
Yep.
If I have to look at try scorers, Nawakani Tawaze to get over for a double. And if I pick a Tiger, I'll go
Hard to pick any.
Stafford Toa.
Yeah, very nice. This is obviously the Terrell May Cup.
Yeah, true.
Back against
true.
his former club. He'll have a point to prove. But hoodoos are a big thing in rugby league, and the Tigers haven't beaten the Roosters since 2018, and that's the first time they beat them since 2011. So pretty crazy there. So the Roosters definitely have the wood on the Tigers. The game we went to last year, 40-6, the Jooks. We were there. Did you come with us?
No.
Reese came with us, and Luke as well. And 40-6 in that game. But obviously, I'll back the Roosters 13 plus in this one. I think we'll win by about 30 points. No Luai will be a big loss for them. As I said, Terrell will have a point to prove, and I think he will. He'll make a ton of tackles, but he does that every week. Doesn't matter if they win or lose. If I'm going try scorers, let's go Mark Nwangani Tawaze for a hat trick in this game. Billy Smith for a double, and. Also signing news for the Roosters. Junior Tupou has come over from the Dolphins.
Yep.
So we're going to have a Tupou on both wings now, which is very, very exciting. Not related to Daniel, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't
But, so good little depth signing, especially after losing Dom Young.
Yeah.
Let's jump into our next and final game of the round. Seagulls against the Rabbitohs. This will be a great game. 4:05, 4 Pines Park. Manly at $1.34. Rabbits at $3.30. Mate, Bunnies, any chance or is it Manly for you?
I get the feeling that we're going to have the exact same tips this week because I'm going Manly. I reckon Manly 13 plus because I think the loss of Latrell is going to be too big for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So Manly 13 plus. In terms of try scorers, if they stick with Turbo in the center, I'm going to go Turbo for a double.
Yep.
and Luke Brooks. To get
Very
over.
nice. Mate, we do have the same this week only because I ain't tipping the Vermin again. After last week, I am not tipping them again. So it's Manly for me. Manly by plenty in this game. Shout out to, of course, Mick, the social media guy,
Yep.
mad Manly fan. But I'm going Manly by plenty in this one. I'm going to go one better. Now, you said Tommy for a double. I really like that. I'm going Cherry Evans for a double. Origin week, he wants to make a statement. Bring me back into the side, Billy. Cherry Evans for a double. Tallis Duncan for a try as well because he's in really good form at the moment.
I was going to say, there's no other Origin games after this.
No,
so unless they bring him back
but he's ready for next year.
Yeah.
When he's at the Roosters, he'll definitely play Origin. You heard it here first. He'll be there next year. But that's it for round 18. Of course, let's talk a bit of Origin Game 3, mate. Now, time of recording, it is next Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yep, beautiful. So, very exciting. Not in 2 days' time, but in the week after. Now, teams were named. Something that really shocked me was that the New South Wales team had no changes, and that included Stefano Utoikamanu, who I thought in the 20 minutes that he played didn't really do a lot.
Yeah.
Mate, I don't know what your take is on this team, but the Queensland team, look over there. I mean, probably one of the biggest shocks in Queensland rugby league history, probably since Ben Eichen got selected when he was 17. But I'm going to butcher his name here, but Gehemat?
Yeah,
Shibasaki.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Shibasaki getting named at centre. Hammer moving back to fullback with Ponga out.
Yep.
Walsh has stayed at 18th man. First off, mate, take us through what you think of the New South Wales team and then the Queensland team as well.
I honestly do not know what Terrell May has to do
Yeah.
to get a spot
Or
in this side.
Kalamatangi as
Or
well.
Kalamatangi.
Yep.
Or, I mean, obviously he's failed his HIA, but even Coruscant,
Yeah.
I don't know what they've done to not get a
They
look
play
in.
for Tigers, bro. You're not allowed to play for Tigers and play Origin.
Yeah, true. Well, unless you're Luai. But
Yeah. He still thought he played at Penrith. They was like, he didn't leave. He's still there, isn't he?
but I think, look, don't get me wrong, it's a good side. It's a good
No,
side.
it's a great side,
There's a couple questionable picks, but I still think we get the job done.
I think we do in Sydney. I just don't know how you can pick Stefano. I mean, like his spot was contentious in game 2 anyway.
Yeah.
Everyone was calling for a Colin Matangi or a Terrell May, but he keeps the spot. And look, I get it. I understand that Daly wants to keep the continuity and doesn't want to change the team, and I like that. I do. But I just think there was other selections. Anyway,
I am a bit concerned about this Queensland team, though. It does look good.
It does look good. Hammer at the back scares me. Hammer at fullback really scares me. I think he's just lost in the centres. You can't really get him that much ball. But at fullback, holy fucking shit. It's going to be good.
It's going to be a great game. Try
It'll be
scoring
fantastic.
galore. Try scoring galore.
I hope the Shiba. I hope he gets over. I love Shibasaki.
Yeah.
We're all starting to grow the Shibasaki ourselves. So if you see yourself with a goatee next week, then we know what's happening.
Yep.
But look, that's Origin. I think Blues get it done. I think by plenty. I'll go Blues 13 plus in this. A couple of try scorers. Let's throw in Edwards to score. Toto if he plays. If he doesn't,
he's been cleared to play.
he's been cleared to play.
Yep.
Toto for a double. And I'll go Shibasaki to get over. As much as I hate saying that, I love him.
For me, New South Wales 13 plus. Toto, I reckon he goes back-to-back hat tricks.
Ooh.
So Toto for a hat trick. I like the shout of Shibasaki.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it, Hammer for a double.
Yuck.
Playing fullback.
Yuck.
Look,
Get that out of here.
shut the fuck up. Fine, if that's the case. Edwards for 3.
That's fine.
New South Wales,
If
1
he-
through
if he-
17.
If he was playing
everyone-
for Penrith, I would have said yuck, but he's playing for New South Wales, so it's okay.
Everyone 1 through 17 scores.
Yeah, that's better. Lindsay Smith to come on because there's 2 injuries and they
Yeah.
have to use the 18th and then the 19th.
Yep.
But look, that's it for our Origin preview. If we head into Lucky Ruckies, don't forget you can send us in a joke at ruckinfringementpod@gmail.com or into our inbox on Instagram, Facebook, or any social media as well. Get your best joke in. The best joke will win a Ruck Infringement bottle opener, which is some fantastic bottle openers. I open all my bottles with them. So check that out and you'll become a Lucky Rucky.
Wow, I've got my lawn in tip-top shape.
What are you talking about, bro? This is a rugby league podcast.
Oh, sorry, man. I've just been really impressed with my new mower from Koala Mowers. It's powerful, cuts well, and gives me a nice, fresh finish. Plus, it makes my lawn look the best on the block.
Jeez, that sounds good. I really need to trim my hedges. Can they help there too?
Koala Mowers have all your lawn care needs covered, my man. They have all the right tools and equipment to trim your hedges, cut your grass, and blow away your leaves.
All right, you've convinced me. Where can I buy one?
Check them out on social media at Facebook and Instagram, or locally at 112 Russell Street, Emu Plains. And if you mention the Ruck Infringement Podcast in store, you'll get 10% off.
Great. I'm on my way to get myself a new trimmer.
Koala Mowers, making lawn care easy without the hassle of having the correct qualifications.
League Lids are an international company selling retro corduroy sports hats to make you the envy of all your friends. Head over to League Lids and check out their array of hats today and use our discount code RUCK10 for 10% off.
All right, mate, let's jump into some talking points now. We spoke about no changes for the Blues, game 3. That's obviously been spoken about. But this next one, are Dolphins a smoky? Now, the way they're playing at the moment, do you think they could challenge for a premiership?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
Wow.
I wasn't on the train at the start of the season.
Yep.
Now I'm on it. All aboard. I reckon they go deep into the finals. I would love to see, don't get me wrong, I'd love Penrith to win it, but if I had to choose, I would love to see Dolphins win the grand final.
Yeah, Dolphins Roosters would be a good grand final.
That'll be a great grand final with obviously Dolphins getting up 40 to 6.
Whoa.
But I think I reckon Dolphins are a smoky.
I've got them as smoky too, man. I really do. The way they beat Melbourne and Penrith in consecutive weeks.
Yep.
And yes, Penrith weren't going great at that point, but that would have been big for them to beat those two teams who are, arguably two of the best teams in the past 10 years. To beat them back to back, they would have been so proud of themselves. And then, obviously these 50-point wins have been incredible. So I definitely think they're a smoky for the premiership. Whether they can go all the way remains to be seen. Mate, injuries galore. Again, we noticed that there was a lot of injuries this week. And again, it seems to be hamstrings.
Yeah.
All season it's been hamstrings. I don't know what is going on. If someone finds a sniper, there will be a reward, a $1,000 reward. If you can find a sniper that's taking out all these players, that would be wonderful.
Are you coughing up the $1,000 reward yourself?
No. That's on the company card. Reece, you got a credit card for us? And the last one I've got, that was part of the injuries. Will this hamper team season? So, for example, Metcalf. We spoke about Metcalf at the Warriors. I think that really hampers their season a lot. Injuries they're never good, and especially to your key personnel. There's a few teams that are those one-man team. The Warriors at the moment are a one-man team, and I think without Metcalf, they do struggle. The good thing about your big teams like your Melbourne, Penrith Roosters is they have enough talent across the board to cover those positions. The Wars simply don't. Another team like that is probably the Dogs. If the Dogs lose a Crichton, to injury, Origin's different. But if they lose him to injury for, a month, 2 months. If they lose Matt Burton for a month, 2 months, it'd be interesting to see how they would go.
I think if Dogs lost Critter for a month or 2 months, I reckon now that they've got
Galvin to centre.
No. Birdo back to centre.
Galvin to 5'8",
Yeah, Galvin 5'8", Sexton in his rightful spot at 7.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That's it for our talking points. Let's jump into a bit of our mid-season review now. Of course, we grade 4 teams. We spoke a couple of teams a couple of weeks ago. This week we're going to do Raiders, Broncos, Knights, Warriors. Now, pretty simple. We all went to school here. Well, I know I did. But you just give them we'll go A to D, I think. We'll just keep it that simple. A to D. I don't think any of the teams have failed. We don't have Parramatta on the list there. But, mate, let's start off with the Raiders. What ranking would you give them this season?
I think it'll be hard to not give them an A.
Have to give them an A, yeah.
They're top of the table.
Yeah.
I think they've only lost 2 games or 3 games.
Yeah, it's been incredible.
I think if you're comparing Raiders teams of old, in the last 10 years or so, this team would smoke every one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think an A is a fair grade. I think they've just been really well this season, really consistent. They have the off game here and there, but yeah, there's a reason why they're challenging for the minor premiership. And, as much as I hate saying it, Raiders, A.
Very nice, mate. Very nice. I'll give them an A as well. I think you summed that up. Let's talk the Broncos, mate. Probably started as an A. Where do you think they are at the moment?
C. I reckon they're a C. They started the season very well, then hit that low slump. Now they're kicking it up again.
Yep.
And then they had a little slump, maybe 2 weeks. And then they're back up.
See if they can get back to an A.
Yeah, there's every chance that they could be back to an A at the end of the season. But as of right now, they're a C.
Yeah. Knights, mate.
Um,
Now, Dongle's not here, so because we know what he would have said.
I know we said A to D, but this is going straight to F. F for fuck the Knights. They're a fail.
FTK is there
FTK fail. I mean, it pains me to say because they knocked us over, but even though we had our Origin boys out, excuses,
mate.
Yeah, but still, I think all the losses that they've had this year, and they don't like. Other than the last 2 weeks, they haven't shown much improvement.
Yeah, I got to agree. I think it's the head noise. I think Ponga is showing that he doesn't want to be there.
Yep.
And from him showing that, he's a captain. So if your body language is showing you don't want to be at a club, your players aren't going to play for you either.
Yeah,
they're going to go, well, he doesn't want to be there, and he's the captain. So what's that saying about the club?
It's seeming very similar to the Ben Hunt situation at the Dragons.
It really is.
So
they went on that decline as well. So yeah, mate, I got to agree with you. It's an F for me. I'll give them a D based on our standings, but an F. And of course, the last one, the Warriors, mate.
I'm torn between B and C.
Yeah.
Because you look at how they were going last year. They were in the bottom half of the ladder. Like I think they ended up like 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
To now be in the top 4 and stay in the top 4 for however long they have now, I'm gonna give them a B minus.
B minus.
B minus.
I like it
because they've had some great games and they've put on some great scores. And then there's some weeks where they haven't really played well. They've been playing shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a B minus is a fair grade.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give them a B based on the season so far. I think they've been really good up to this point. Obviously, they lost last week, lost the week before. I think they're going to head down now, as we spoke about with the injuries, but I'll give them a B for now. That's it for our mid-season review this week. We'll do another 4 teams next week. I did have Joey's Jumble on there, but it'd be unfair if you're here. You'll win all 3 points. So
I don't know about that.
So what we might do, we might do a trivia game, a trivia question for the listeners at home. Now, obviously, you're an avid Panthers man. I'm an avid Roosters fan. So I've thought of a player that played for both of our clubs.
Yep.
And played for a few others. I won't give away that hint yet, but he has played for New South Wales and Australia. He's played for both the he's won a comp with the Roosters.
Yep.
And he's played for Penrith and the Chooks as well.
Yep.
If you think you know who it is, leave it in the comment section or send us in our inbox as well. If you do get it right, those that get it right, I will give you a Ruck Infringement bottle opener. We have plenty to give away, so get that in. But that's our trivia question.
I was going to say, even though I'm not competing in it, as soon as you said he's played for like us and then multiple clubs, knew it straight away.
Yeah, beautiful. Love it.
Straight away.
Very, very good. All right. Well, that is it for that week. We do have a couple of viewer questions, so we'll get them up. A couple this week. Thank you for those that got their questions in. First one, why media managers delete negative comments like they work in PR for the Prime Minister? I had to ask about what this meant, the guy that sent it, because I didn't actually really understand what he meant. But he was talking about when negative comments on social media are said to clubs or media personalities, you know, they get all defensive and they delete the comments. And it's like, for me, the comments are fair because you're on that platform and you're on that platform, so you got to expect to have the criticism.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to stand up there and be like, oh, you can't criticize me because I'm up here. Like, fans are going to criticize rugby league players. There's a way to do it. There's a way not to do it.
Yep.
Obviously, abuse and death threats are not the way to do it. But, you know, saying like, Madge, get your act together, like the Broncos have lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So I'm on the same page with him of like, deleting comments is shit by those like media personalities and things like that. I think if the comment is fine, just leave it.
Yeah.
Accept it, talk about it.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I think like everyone's like able to show constructive criticism and give it.
Yeah.
But there's a point where it goes from constructive criticism to abuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
we saw with Liam Martin recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, Liam Martin, he got like death threat. Like, he got a death threat against him.
He's a tough dude. He's a tough dude.
He's probably
as well,
one person you wouldn't want to do it
no
to,
way.
and he finds you.
Yeah.
But like, I think what people need to realize is that especially the players, like they're human.
That's right.
Like people make mistakes.
They're just like Harry.
Yeah, they're just like me. But and like just because, don't get me wrong, I'm probably gonna get a bit of hate for this. Don't get me wrong. Just because you are a fan, you are entitled to your opinion.
Of course.
But you got to draw the line somewhere.
Here's the thing about opinions, bro. Opinions are like armpits. Everyone has them. Most of them stink.
Yeah, I think they. What I
Some
don't
words
get
of wisdom there for you.
I don't get is like people don't understand what the impact of all these comments have on the players and their mental health as well. Like some of the stuff that I've seen online, you've seen online, like it's just ridiculous. Which
100%.
Which I think brings me to a point of Nico Hines, I think, said it last year or the year before. We do all these great rounds, like you have your Mark Hughes Foundation, your Indigenous round.
That's right.
I reckon they should bring
Women
in a
league round.
women league round, everything. I reckon they should bring in a men's mental health round.
100%.
Even like because
Look what the Broncos did a couple of weeks ago with the black dog jersey.
Yeah, I think there should be one round dedicated to it.
I love that.
Especially in June, because June is Men's Mental Health Month.
Obviously, Andrew Abdo and Peter Volandis, who are avid listeners of the show, please take Harry's advice on board.
Yeah, make one of the rounds in June men's mental health round.
Make rugby league great again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not like Donald Trump.
We're not going to build a wall.
We're not building a wall.
Unless it's around Redfern, that's fine. We can keep them out.
But yeah.
Too many rabbits.
Make it in June. Make it in June.
Yeah, I love it. Mate, great idea. Obviously, shout out to the Rugby League Therapy Podcast for sending that through. Our next question, this is from our good mate Mick, of course, our social media guy. And he writes, who is going first? Seabold, Des, O'Brien, or Benji? Now, obviously, if you are tuning in for the first time, would say you live under a rock. Seabold's Manly coach, Des Hasler is the Titans coach, O'Brien's the Knights coach, and Benji Marshall, of course, Tigers legend and their current coach. Mate, who goes first?
Well, we can rule out O'Brien because the Knights have said that they're not going to get rid of him like this year because of the whole 2 mil situation.
Yeah.
You can also rule out Benji because the Tigers have come out, like the CEO has come out and said Benji's job is safe.
Yeah.
Like no matter how they finish this season, his job is safe.
And they have improved. So even though they're 15, it's still an improvement.
Yeah. In terms, obviously it's going to be between Seabold and Des. I reckon Desi's gone. I reckon out of these two, Desi's gone.
Big. Who replaces him though? That's the problem.
That's the real question.
Brad Arthur was rumoured to have the Perth job. Meninga got it.
Yeah.
So does Arthur hope one of these guys go? Is he looking for the Titans job? Be really interesting. He still wants to coach. Obviously, you've still got Trent Barrett hanging around. Yeah, he's looking for another gig.
Yeah, we all know he loves a coaching gig.
The big news out of Manly is that if Seabold does go, Michael Ennis is there as an assistant.
Yeah.
And he would take over. I think Ennis would be a good coach, except he'd yell at the screen and at everybody because he yells when he's commentating. But apart from that, I think he would be a really good coach. I think I'm in agreement with you. I think Des goes first. I really do. I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from the Titans at the moment. And sad as it is, he's been a great coach, but I just don't know where the Titans go, and I really don't know if they're viable moving forward. We talk about kicking teams out of the comp, South Sydney, but I think the Titans, they might actually have to have a really good hard look at it and go, is the Gold Coast viable? They've tried it how many times? The Seagulls, the Giants. They've tried it and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
I just don't know how long you can keep doing that. There's such a divide in class when they play, for example, when Penrith play Titans, usually it's a
massacre.
Yeah, it's a massacre. And, Storm Tigers was very similar. It's like that. But, yeah, it's very interesting. But I think we're both in agreement there. Thank you for the question, Mick. But that is it for viewer questions. And that's all we have time for on the Ruck Infringement Podcast for episode 116, Phination. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and X, YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Please get your questions in when the viewer questions drops. Send us some comments, give us a rate, and give us a like as well, and subscribe on the YouTube because it's going great guns at the moment. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Gibson's Country Style Jerky, LMTLS Finance, At Print, League Lids, and of course, Koala Mowers and Stay Fancy Eyewear. Cannot forget them. Thank you so much. And of course, to you, the listener, you are what made this podcast what it is. So thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's Harry. I'm Joey. Be good. How's the rash, mate? Did you get that in?
Richie and Benji can't hold on to players. The Titans That was the Ruck Infringement Podcast, episode 116, Phination.